Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind.
Posh fam, let's dig into the commentary that was the season finale of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Before we do though, I must confess, it was underwhelming. And why do I say this? I say this because what happened after the season finale, what happened online seemed to actually be more dramatic and juicier than the season finale. We're going to get into all of the talking points. First things first, I will definitely fill you up or update you on the latest breaking news that is The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am stunned and I'm shocked. When I read it on the news, was it last night? I was like, no freaking way. We're getting to all of that. First things first, though, guys, welcome back to my channel. We gained some new friends. Welcome on board the Posh Fam train. Thank you for joining us, new subbies. So excited to have you on board. Again, do not forget to constantly watch this video, like and comment, as well as share this channel with your friends. Thank you, newbies, and to my existing subbies, thank you for staying on. I'm not as entertaining. I don't think I am, but I would say this. You have just held me. You held me from tilting and obviously giving up. So I thank you. Keep supporting, keep liking, keep commenting, and as well as sharing this channel with your friends. With that said, let's get into the commentary that was The Real Housewives of Atlanta season finale. Like I said, guys, the show was underwhelming. It was underwhelming. However, I don't watch the show live as it is. I do take my time to watch it and then come on here and give you my unbiased, unfiltered opinion. But before I did this recording, I just went on YouTube and I saw a breaking news from Cheryl stating that the entire cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to be scrubbed off. I'm like, no! Cheryl quoted B. Scott. Now, B. Scott is a well-renowned entertainment vlogger on Twitter, and she's on Instagram as well. B. Scott is loved by the most. I actually hear she's got the exclusive right to run most of this reality franchise, the breaking news as it comes. Like, she has insider source and she gives it, like, when she confirms the breaking news, 9 out of 10 is accurate. And so when B. Scott broke the news that the executive are contemplating, not even completing, they have decided that they are going to relieve this current cast of their duties. I'm like, say it isn't so. It has been alleged all season long that Kandi, who's the highest paid housewife of the franchise as a whole, not just the Real Housewife, the entire Real Housewife franchise, she is the highest paid, period, was probably going to be axed, given the fact that this particular season was underwhelming. Ratings tanked. Like, ratings tanked. They went from 6 million to 600 viewers, and it didn't sit well with the executives of the show. And so it's been rumored Cheryl ran with this news the entire season, saying Candi's gonna lose her job, Kenya will probably lose her job, and it was just that they were not giving what they were supposed to give. And so I was scared for Kandi, because Kandi is my favorite. Kandi and Kenya are my favorite. They are both the reasons why I watch the show. There's no more OGs left. Like, they are the two OGs still left in the cast. And so I don't know how a total revamp of the show is going to make me feel. Yes, executives are saying that following the success of the Real Housewives of the, I think it's in New York franchise, because I also found out that they got a total cast for the New York franchise, and I'm like, I haven't seen any episode. It's currently on, and guys, I haven't seen any episode, and I am not excited to see any episode because I have to gravitate on them. It takes me a good hot minute to understand the dynamics as I play, find a comfort zone around the storylines. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot of emotional commitment, and I wasn't interested. If you guys change the format for RHOA, I am going to tell you, you're going to lose me for the first 3 seasons because it will not be interesting. And because I don't know anyone, and you have to be invested in most of these cast members to be able to want to tell their story from the point of view that seems non-biased, right? I would think so. Anyway, before I digress more than I should, Bill Scott is saying that following the success of the revamp of the New York franchise, they are now considering revamping the RHOA, Real House of Atlanta franchise. They are still deciding. And these are all alleged talks. It's not exactly confirmed. No one is coming out to say, I am the executive that has confirmed it. But what we all know is the show tanked this season. It was all about Drew and a few of the other housewives. Kenya is now even allegedly crying online that most of her edits were cut. Because we knew she was preparing to launch a new hair care salon, and we ended up not seeing any footage of that. Apparently she did, but it didn't make the cut. And I'm like, how did Kenya's final build not make the cut, but Marlo's foster care shindig made the cut? Like, how? It didn't make sense to me. Because we all knew there was like a beginning, yes, where she was talking to her friend. She actually took us to the place she found and how renovations were ongoing. She gave us a lowdown of what she planned to do. And now you telling us we were not deserving of seeing the final work? It kind of didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why would they not show her success? This is all about promoting your business, promoting yourself, and tell us what you're doing, right? Because that wasn't a made-up story. And so if you are preferencing made-up storylines it was bizarre to me. Anyway, Kenya is online saying that production did her dirty by not showing her salon launch, and rightly so. She's been a season housewife of this franchise, and I don't think they did her good by not showing her final piece or her final shop launch. And so that is part of the other things, that a lot of scenes were cut. And again, before the season came to air, they said there were difficulties at the start during filming, and so we sort of knew that there was going to be a few haji-baji with all of this. And again, the girls did come out to say that Candy was too busy to even shoot with them, and that was again portrayed in the course of the season as the women wanted to come from the... I'm sure Candy was like, I can't deal with these people coming from me because maybe they feel like I am the highest paid and the story should revolve around me, when they should all bring stories, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, B. Scott is not one to give us false story. These are facts now, as I would say, alleged facts, okay? The executive are thinking about revamping the franchise completely, like letting go of the current housewives and introducing new faces. I do not think it's a good idea. I do not know if they're going to be able to get what they're looking for with this particular plan of action. I could say that keep some, bring more new ones, and just get these women to show their authentic stories. Like, get them to tell us exactly what is going on, not give us false truth. Because exactly why we are where we are is the false narrative. We can see right through this false narrative. You give us false narrative and then embellish it with some cattiness. It's not going to work. It's not going to keep people's attention. Like I kept saying, they left us on the cliffhanger with the Drew situation, and there was no resolving conversation surrounding that. It was just, oh, it happened, it didn't happen, and then we're left hanging. I guess the reunion we might uncover some, and I am not exactly hopeful given the fact that the season finale was as underwhelming. There were pretty much 3 talking points, and we're going to get into that commentary. I just wanted to give you the breaking news. So Sharelle is really running with this one. Sharelle, I don't think she hates Candy. It's just the fact is the way she is going about giving the narration, and it's more like portraying Auntie Candy, forgetting the fact that there are 6 other women who as well carry this show, who should carry the show. They are all paid, right? You're coming on a reality TV show, and you're expecting one person to be the star. It's not going to work. Now, despite her being the most paid, she has to work with castmates. And if the castmates are not bringing their true, authentic self, how is she going to carry everyone along? I don't know. It's still a show that revolves around my life, my family, my business, right? Candy is doing literally all of that. Her family, navigating through kids, her daughter in college, her daughter, it's all of that. And then her businesses. I don't think we need to see any more. Or is there more to see? And then what are the other ladies bringing? They are bringing, oh, Candy, you're not here. Candy, you did this. Candy, you did that. You said that. It's becoming like a little bit staled. I just feel like they need to maybe revisit one last time the OGs of the original franchise, Nene, Phaedra. Probably let's have a conversation between Candy and Phaedra about that particular allegation they saw Phaedra leaving the show. Probably need closure. We deserve some closure. Candy would probably give you the numbers you're looking for if that conversation happens. And Nene obviously coming back and resolving a few issues with some of the OGs. And then some new housewives who actually are friends with the existing housewives. Because you can't bring people who don't know each other and say, go in there, pretend to fight. In fact, make them work for the pitch. It's a pitch, right? You have to work. We're not going to hand it to you in a platter of gold. You work to earn it. Guys, I'm going to give you update, or we're going to keep updating you as this particular breaking news unfolds, and that is regarding the fact that executive producers or the executive of the franchise is thinking about letting go of the current cast of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and in fact introducing new faces to reboot a new season. It's either that or the show goes on a complete hiatus where they figure out the actual dynamics and what direction they want this particular show to take. I don't know. But for me, if they are bringing new cast, I'm not watching. And I'm just putting it out there. You probably won't get commentary from me for season 16 if there's going to be a new cast. I will not be watching. However, I can tell you for a fact, Potomac is going to be premiering very soon. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills should be premiering as well. And then we also have Married to Medicine. I do not know if I can run commentary for all three, but I'm going to try and run commentary for at least one. With that said, let's just dig into the commentary that was the season finale of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So the final episode of the season finale kicks off with a date, March 3rd, 2023 this year. Now, we all know that we saw the breaking story regarding Drew filing for divorce from husband Ralph. Now, we were not sure because at first it was Ralph filing for divorce, and then the next thing Drew filed 16 minutes later, or one file. It was just chaos. Like but they were both racing to the courthouse as it appears. Anyway, this particular episode opens with production, telling or trying to get a conversation from Drew following the announcement of the fact that they have filed for divorce. And that was how it opened. Now, a few flashback to all that went down the entire season was, showed to us Ralph and Drew having had the altercation during the date night. And I mean, the premise from their entry into the show was a Tampa incident where Ralph went to Tampa and did not, in fact, close all comms between his wife, and up until this day could not tell his wife exactly what he did in the days that he shut her off. Anyway, so the episode opens with we all know the filming has wrapped for the movie The Past. And guys, I have seen the trailer of The Past that's coupled last week, and I am saying, I hear it's now on Peacock. I don't have Peacock. I don't even know what that is. I refuse to have any of all the streaming televisions. They're just expensive. I can't afford it. But if you know someone that's got access to Peacock, hit me up, please. I would like to watch this particular movie, The Past. From the trailer, it looks really exciting. I cannot wait to see exactly the play-by-play, because this particular episode is titled Art Imitates Life. Now, a lot happened. And so we see Drew Sidera trying to answer for herself. But guys, don't hold your breath. There was nothing. They gave nothing. Okay, we're gonna get to the end of this, but they literally gave nothing. Moved on from producers trying to get Drew to answer some pertinent question to Sheree still trying to teach her grandbaby how to crawl, was still there. It moved on to Kenya and her little daughter, Brooklyn, trying to moisturize the daughter's hair. And then that went on to Ralph, who obviously is resting from a marathon. Well, no, not marathon, more like a sprint filming of his movie The Past. Like, he is literally yawning as his wife was asking him, so what's next? They have, it was a 10-day shoot, guys. They are now in process of editing and as well as having to schedule a wrap party, which is how the season finale ends, at the wrap party of the movie The Past. And that straight on, we go to see Sanya. Sanya is going back to her obstetrician gynecologist, Dr. Jackie. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here because, like, the way the show is being chronologized, right? It felt like 2 weeks ago she had a scan that said she was 5 weeks pregnant, right? And then this particular scan says she is 5 weeks, still 5 weeks and 7 days or 6 days pregnant. So what that kind of showed to us is that the pregnancy is not progressing. Something was not exactly right. And she is too excited, in my opinion. Like, too excited. For me, I would think that as an expectant mom, you do reserve some discretionary or caution, in the sense that you don't announce anything until you have passed the safe zone. And the safe zone is usually 12 weeks, right? Yeah. So the fact that she pretty much gave us the information when she was like 2 days pregnant was like, girl, calm down. What's going on? Anyway, we're going to uncover a little bit more about this particular scan, which kind of indicated to me that something was not right with the pregnancy. So moving on from Saya inviting Marlo to her obstetrician appointment to Drew, obviously, as I said earlier, production for the movie The Past is wrapped and she's back home. We can actually see her scheduling. She has a performance for the rap party, so she's going to be singing or launching her single, Already Know. And so Duan Wan was having a conversation with her regarding the itinerary for the night. And next we saw is her husband Ralph walking into their matrimonial bedroom, as it were. And apparently, or rather, it became obvious to us that Ralph is no longer sharing the same bed as his wife. We'll get into that. First things first, though, Drew is sort of saying or trying to have a conversation with regret. I mean, she's debriefing, essentially following the fact that she's been away from the house shooting the movie and trying to debrief with Ralph the event that has gone down with her as well as from Ralph as well. In my head, it's like, if you guys are in the same roof, you don't need to debrief, right? But it's clear as day that they are not seeing eye to eye, and we find out that Ralph has actually moved out from the matrimonial bed and sleeping by himself. His reasons is more, I'm trying to give you space and I'm trying to get clearer space, or I'm trying to have a temperature difference right now. It was just curious. Ralph is, I don't know. Like, I'm beginning to think these two are actually acting for us, but again, having to have your marriage break down on national TV seems a little bit more than acting. What do you guys think? I don't know. I feel it's a little bit excessive or extreme to be acting. Ralph and Drew had a conversation with regards to Courtney, Ralph's cousin in question, about the B word that was called or directed at Drew. And Drew wanted Ralph to come in her defense, and Ralph is like, I ain't coming to your defense. I don't want to get involved. Or your other castmates have called you the B word and I didn't get involved. Why should I get involved? Because it's my alleged cousin. And Ralph was taken back by his reaction to this particular situation. Not clear for me because, again, these two cannot really have a good conversation. I can understand this. Drew walked away and went downstairs. Allison, the sister, is still living in the apartment, as with everyone that lives in Atlanta. And this is where I begin to question things. Ralph's and Drew's relationship is I don't know what's going on. They have the entire city of Atlanta residents living in their space. Now, if you have so many people living in your space, which is not related to the production team that's supposed to be producing the Real House of Atlanta edits and shows, it becomes questionable. Why do you have this assistant of the assistant? Ralph has got assistant. Drew has 5 assistants. They've got a chef, they've got a cook, they've got sisters, they've got mom, they've got nannies, they've got everything. And how do you guys get privacy? What's going on? When we went downstairs, there was a guy in the kitchen, obviously eating with Allison. I don't even know who that guy is. Apparently, he's an assistant. And then there is Allison trying to get involved in their altercation. Allison is saying, "Why don't you defend your wife?" And it's causing a lot more aggro than it would. Raph is saying, don't get involved. Right? I mean, like, I don't know. It didn't even end properly because there was no resolve. You could see Drew crying and walking off. The next thing I saw is they're now back in counseling together. Because we all know Raph stopped going to counseling. But now he's back, which means it's crisis time. There is literally something going on here. But the problem is these two cannot admit to the fact that there's a problem. So if you can't admit to a problem, how do you get a solution? I feel like you're just wasting your money paying this counselor for nothing because you're going nowhere fast. Now, before we get into the counseling session between Raph and Drew, we also revisit Sherry. Now, you know what happened at the Mecca Glam event where Sherry's ex-husband, Bob, introduced the entire cast and crew to his daughter that was allegedly conceived or he had whilst sort of married to Sherry. Now, we see Sherry and her elder daughter leaving the fibroid clinic. We know Sherry confirmed she had fibroid this season, and we followed her, should I say, natural path to shrinking or eliminating her fibroid. Now, we hear the fibroid shrunk. Is it gone completely? No. Apparently, I think the daughter also has fibroid, and she's also like trying to go through the natural path as well. And in the car ride away from the hospital, we could see the both of them having a chat, referencing the Rob reveal at the baby sip and see event. Sherry is sticking to the fact that she didn't know that Rob had a child. Really? And the daughter said, didn't you? And guys, make this make sense. Yeah, I know you guys had a lot of issues going on, and that's exactly why you guys are no longer married. But the fact that you would say you did not know your husband had a third child following, I don't know. It's weird to me. Is she trying to save this for season 16 storyline? Because it doesn't make any damn sense to me that you had no idea and your kids knew about this particular child. Or I don't know. Guys, really? Is she literally telling us expecting us to believe? She insists she has no idea that the first time she's meeting this particular child was at her sip and see event for her granddaughter. I do not know what to say. Well, let's move on to Kenya now. Kenya has invited the dad over to talk about her plans to have another baby via surrogacy. Now, the dad at first thought Kenya was planning to carry this child to term, knowing the fact that she had a very high-risk pregnancy the last time. And so the dad was relieved to know that she was considering having someone else carry the baby, which the dad was quite supportive of. And a few of the conversation was, well received by the father, which tells me that their relationship is now on a path where it's healthy and developing nicely. So I'm happy for Kenya, and I am hoping that she does eventually, has the baby she has been planning for. We all know she's still in a divorce state with her ex-partner. However, when this divorce is going to be finalized, we have no answers to this. Cynthia was married and divorced while she was still negotiating her divorce situation. So it might be another century before she divorces her ex-partner, if they were actually ever married. But it remains to be seen, guys. Now, because it's the season finale and I had to give you guys the initial breaking news, this is going to go longer than I anticipated. Anyway, let's just get back into the swing of things. We see Marlo and Scott Lee. Scott Lee is visiting La Archive, Marlo's business venture. And here we can actually see them literally be smooching together. I do not know the state of their affairs. Marlo seemed to think he is just a friend that she's dating. I really don't know. But whatever the case, they seem good together, and that's all I can say. Candy has actually invited Marlo for the rap party of the past, and she is now having Scott Lee as her plus one. So Scott Lee is going to be there going with her. And we now go on straight to the counseling session between Drew and Raph. Now, this particular session, again, did not go anywhere any fast. It's been 2 years of the back and forth. And you could actually see the doctor trying to just make them understand that they need to come to the plate. They are not honest with each other. And it's not working. Obviously, 2 years of counseling hasn't done any of them any good. The doctor is not exactly spelling out the words, but I can actually see it from his facial expression. Guys, it's not working. Stop wasting your money. Ralph is failing to see where he's wrong. Drew, on the other hand, is also not willing to listen to Ralph. But I can guess why she's not willing to listen, because she's been hurt by this guy. And Ralph is not willing to take ownership or accountability for his action. And that is why they are at a stalemate. Following up from here, it's the rap party. We can see Ralph and Drew again. So that's the why I am actually unsure of these two. 1 minute they are at each other's throat. The next minute they are together supporting each other. So I'm like, what is it, guys? What's going on? Anyway, Ralph is supporting her for this particular event. Like I said, she has to render the her single, you already know, to the audience following the release of the trailer for the movie The Past. Now it looks good. The guests have arrived. Candy is welcoming Tiny, Major Girl, her best friend, as well as Tiny's partner Ti. Candy is present, Candy's friend. It's all looking good. Cynthia is here with her stylist. Now, we thought it was a partner, but she's here with her stylist. Ross and Sanya can be seen walking along. Again, like I said, the event for the night looks really good. The trailer was shown to all, and everyone seemed excited for the movie to come. Drew has gone on to reveal her single, or rather sing her single to everyone present. But very quickly, it turned ugly because Allison, Drew's sister, cornered Courtney, Ralph's cousin, to talk about the B-word exchange. Now, I don't know. Like I said, it didn't end well because Courtney was a little bit defensive at the start. Allison wanted to defend her sister. Drew, on the other hand, was like, you shouldn't have said that because we took you in as one of us. And now you're sort of betraying the trust. Courtney is sort of now backtracking to say, I didn't mean it like this. I was repeating something, or it was said in a way that wasn't a direct attack. Courtney, get your story straight because it's not making sense. Again, there is no resolution because from here on, it was meant to be the end of the season, guys. It was meant to be the end of the season. However, we started getting footage. First, Marlo could be seen revealing to us that Drew and Ralph have filed for divorce. And they were already having their edits following the season finale with production. And so, how are they going to fit this particular breaking news in? Because it wasn't part of the storyline. Like, they knew something was on the pipeline. They knew things were brewing, but they did not think it was going to happen just after the show wrapped. And so they had to then call Drew to come on and give her version of event, to which, or rather Drew and Ralph, to which, as they both sat down, they all lawyered up. Sorry, I can't say this much because of legal embargo on the conversation. There's a discovery process. So leaving Courtney, the cousin, to slander Drew, of course, in favor of her cousin Ralph, it was just a mess. So given that production had to resume, I think around March, to capture the divorce breaking news from the blogs, Marlo was seen having a conversation with Sheree, alleging that there was a girl that Drew was hooking up with. Ty. We saw Ty at the rap party. Apparently, Ty is linked to one of the co-stars from the past. In fact, I am not sure how this whole thing is just entangled. It's an entangled mess. A co-star from the past dated some lady called Ty and they broke up. Apparently, a conversation ensued where Drew said, according to Moyeta now, who's also always the relayer of information, that if her and her husband doesn't work out, she's going to go with her girl crush. And they went for that to ask her who her girl crush was, and she said Ty. So to then now hear that there was a makeout session with Ty, and now the marriage is obviously disintegrated. It's like, what is going on? What is happening? We do not know. Ralph hosted his party. She was present, but then Ty was also present. Allegedly, guys, I don't know the dates. So it's all a mess. It's all a mess. Then we uncovered the fact that Sanya lost her 5 weeks pregnancy. Again, we're not surprised here. It wasn't really growing. And I think Jackie told her that it wasn't growing. So they were supposed to be booked in for an emergency DNC. But she said she was enrolled to have a business meeting. And whilst enrolled to that particular situation, she had a massive miscarriage. They saw her lose a lot of blood and rushed to an emergency. And the baby, of course, or the pregnancy had to be evacuated. It's quite sad. Good news. Sanya is currently pregnant. Okay, so they did not waste any time following that misfortune. They went straight back to the swing of things, and we can happily say that Sanya is indeed expecting, and we are happy for her because we all know how long it takes from shooting or from filming to editing to production wrapping, and then we then getting to see the show that was. So I'm happy that from that bad news you're able to make out or come out with a good news following the loss of the pregnancy. So we're happy for them, and the pregnancy is obviously far along now, and so we can really say she is expecting a baby any day now. We are happy. So we're going back to where production were trying to uncover as much as they could from Drew and Raph, where they all layered up basically, so we couldn't get anything. And the next thing that happened was there was like breaking news. Obviously someone had leaked to the press or text messages alleging the relationship between Drew and Ty, and now like they were right there, trying to uncover more information from Drew. And they were like, Drew, what's going on here? We can see this is out on the blogs, it's gone viral, what can you say? Crickets. Drew did not say anything. So we have again ended the season with a cliffhanger. I guess at the reunion we're going to be uncovering all the details with regards to the demise of the marriage, if they're actually going to go through with the divorce, or a lot of things. But we know that they are still living in the same space, so they are still cohabitating pending when the divorce becomes final, I guess. Guys, this is the final. I hope this, I'm confused as you are, but I hope I could break down as much as I knew or as much as I could give you. But in the same vein, I am here to unpack. Is it two-part reunion show now? I don't know, but I'm here to unpack that for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this far. This is probably the longest recap for the season yet for me. And if you watched it this far, thank you. I can't wait to see you when we do the reunion, and I hope we can get some closure, at least some closure. Until then, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe and remain focused. Bye.